It's Kat. I am doing another one of my getting ready videos where I'm about to go on a date. And so I'm doing my makeup right quick. Now I was supposed to see this guy at 8 o'clock. It is 7:30. But I did tell him I'm late. I'm only saying that because you guys know I'm always late. I am never on time. I wish that I could be more on time, but just so today I spent a lot of my time trying to do my fucking taxes because of course I did them doing them last minute. And girl, let me just without getting too tacky and telling you guys about my earnings and shit, bitch. Nothing makes me more feel like I should be a Republican more than doing my fucking taxes. I'm an independent contractor. And I'm like, bitch, I know how much. I know how much. Like, oh my gosh. Like, taxation is theft, bitch. Like, taxation is theft. Taxation is theft, bitch. Oh my fucking God. But we're not going to get tacky and talk about my taxes here. So, I wanted to kind of give you guys a bit of an update. So last time I talked to you guys, I found out that my ex is in a new relationship. I had been dumped by the guy that I was seeing for a while, who was married. And my and the partner who I've been calling Soldier on here, he's currently sort of healing after an STD scare. So, you know, there was one more guy that I had to sort of sort things out with. And I have a conclusion for you. So for context, if you guys are just watching this video and you have, I go to these poly meetups every month. And the first one I went, I met the guy that was married. And the second time I went, he asked me out on a date. I said yes to the date, and he revealed to me on our first date that he had never been with a trans woman, had not even known that I was trans when he asked me out on a date, but found out because we were Facebook friends, and he kind of found out through there. But, you know, he was willing to sort of figure it out. He's someone who has a transgender daughter. And so he's a little bit more open-minded. And I kind of had the position of like, well, we're going to be at these events all the time. Let's see how this goes. And long story short, it didn't go. The reason why it didn't go is because he was just not in a headspace currently where he could learn all the things about trans women that I essentially require in order for me to date them. Now, I talked about this before, but one of my big sort of requirements for dating men right now is that they are experienced with transgender women. And so that was kind of a big point of contention. And since I sort of had that issue with him, I had this issue with this other guy that I'm seeing. Now, we're going to call the other guy that I've been seeing, let's call him Sebastian. Sebastian is a very fancy man. He has a mustache type situation that does a little curly Q. And I just thought he was the cutest thing. He is a socialist, and he's very, very politically active. And I really love that about him. And so we definitely had a lot of really, really great dates. Our first date was he took me to the Speakeasy bar. Let me turn the air on because it's fucking hot in here. He took me to the Speakeasy bar in downtown LA. It was really, really nice. It was like one of the best first dates I've ever been on. And we just got along really, really fucking well. And so, you know, I had felt pretty confident about him, but he, like the other guy I was seeing, also had really no experience with trans women, right? And I talked about this before, but being single again has definitely put me in sort of a position that I didn't think I was going to be in, you know, again. I had went into my last relationship feeling and believing that it would be my last relationship. But it didn't turn out that way. It was my decision And, you know, as much as I wish things went differently, they didn't. And so it is what it is. So now I'm just in a position where I'm navigating completely newfound territory. I'm in a very different situation than I was before. And so there's a lot of shit that I am now sort of navigating around because I am a trans person who is at a more evolved and established state than I was when I was 21 years old and still sort of trying to make it all just work, right? Um, so after finding out that my ex is in a new relationship, and having the sort of donkey punch of a breakup that I had with the guy that had no experience with transgender women, I decided to call Sebastian up and sort of get him to sort of have a conversation with me about where he's at, because I've been traveling a lot and Sebastian has not been sending me the hey, hello text that he usually sent me. Um, and so I was definitely feeling a little like, well, you know, where is this going? Because as much as I like him and he's going through some family stuff, and I was sort of willing to give him a lot of space and time. At the same time, I was like, you know, look, I'm going through all these devastating things. Like, I need to sort of figure out how solid you are, because honestly, like, too much is going on, you know, like too fucking much has been going on. I'm just kind of tired and I wanted to sort of rip the fucking band-aid off the situation and talk to him about it. So I called Sebastian up. Last time I spoke to Sebastian, he told me he went through like something like a really serious sort of family issue, but he was very vague about what that was. I asked him if he wanted to talk about it. He said he really didn't want to, which I respected. Um, and we had a conversation about where he was. You know, now I've been giving him a ton of space because I recognize that he's going through stuff. And, you know, I definitely don't want to force or pressure anyone into, you know, doing shit they don't want to do, you know? So I've been giving him a shitload of space. Um, so I talked to him about what was going on, and you know, I told him everything I'd gone through that week, all my Mercury in retrograde shit. And he, you know, has listened to me bitch and moan a lot. All the people I've seen have listened to me bitch and moan a lot. And so he was very, you know, sympathetic and was definitely very, you know, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that, da 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 da. And you know, I told him like, so I'm really calling you to figure out where we are, because I've gone through all this stuff. It's been really sort of frustrating and I haven't really heard from you. So what's going on with us? And so Sebastian told me two things. Sebastian first told me, you know what, Kat, I just really don't think I'm in the space right now to where I could date another person. Sebastian has a main partner who weeks ago he was like, oh, she really wants to meet you, but she's really worried about fucking it up for us and da 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 da. And I think I mentioned this, but Sebastian told me that he loved me weeks ago, which kind of really took me off guard, because not that I couldn't feel that way about a man, but I wasn't there with him yet, you know? And we could have gotten there, but I definitely was not there yet. So it was kind of a little bit of a surprise, I guess, that he had sort of landed on the position of, I don't really think we should date. Um, but whatever, you know, I'm a huge believer in letting people sort of have their space and figure themselves out. And, you know, I'm definitely not someone trying to pressure anyone into any fucking thing. So, you know, hey, he's got to figure himself out. Totally respect it. Not going to fight with you on that point, right? But then he told me something else that was pretty fucking devastating to me, I guess. Then he told me that on top of all the shit he's been doing with, you know, going through therapy for his family stuff and, you know, trying to figure out, you know, where he stands and all that shit, he also is currently in the process of figuring out his gender identity. Now, some of you guys who have followed me closely for years know that I've had a pretty extensive history of men that I've dated coming out to me as transgender, or rather, people that I've dated coming out to me as transgender. Um, and it's definitely a bit of a trigger for me, to be completely honest with you, um, because it's been more than five people. It's been more than five people. And at a certain point, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me to where not every, but a lot of men that approach me end up questioning their gender identity. Their gender identity. It's not, I mean, sexuality, okay, maybe I get that, but their gender identity, you know? And like, so on one hand, I was like, look, it's really cool that you're figuring this out. On the other hand, I had really to tell him that, like, hey, this kind of fucks me up a little bit because I've sort of noticed a pattern in the men that I've dated, and this is just perpetuating it. This is just yet another person I've dated. Because listen, I have a very specific sort of type of guy that I like. I like men who love being men. I like men who are very comfortable with being men. I like men who don't question that they're men. And so if I was with somebody, you can just believe and just take my word for it that they were pretty fucking masculine, pretty fucking content within, you know, their gender expression, or at least seem that way. And so when these people come out to me as transgender, it's kind of fucking upsetting because I never saw it coming, and I would not have dated them if I knew that's where they were coming from. Right? So, you know, I was pretty upset, but at the same time, if that's the case, that's the case. You know, like for all these people I've seen and all the people that I've kind of let go recently, it's all been pretty fucking cordial for the most part. I mean, a lot of poly dating is sort of, I always say that it's like dating on crack, like it's dating on speed. Like you are sort of figuring out so much about where you stand, where they stand, what's going on, and where you guys are going super quickly. And a lot of monogamous dating structures, you would hide a very important aspect of yourself just to continue dating the person, right? You wouldn't necessarily come out and tell them, oh, you know, I think I'm questioning my gender, because, well, a lot of monogamy is sort of really predicated on this sort of inherent dishonesty. And so you're a little less forthcoming when it comes to talking about the shit that is really delicate to you, the shit that's really important to you, right? But when you're poly, it's like, look, I only have so many hours in the day, and I have so many people I'm seeing, I really can't waste my fucking time. And so that's sort of the case. And so, you know what? I really respect Sebastian for telling me that. And I really want Sebastian to figure out, you know, where they stand, because at the end of the day, they should be happy. And I'm not going to be happy in a relationship with someone who, A, is not the gender that I'm attracted to, but then B, would have to pretend in order to be with me. I don't want to do that to anyone. So I was pretty bummed that that ended up being the case. But, you know, it is what it is. So I saw a movie with someone yesterday, and the guy that I saw a movie with was a guy that at one point in you know, the past couple of months I was dating. I'm gonna call this guy Zombie because he's kind of zombie-esque. He is a goth guy that I met on OkCupid like way back in the day, who really wanted to take me to some goth clubs, but I got into a relationship soon thereafter. And so, you know, we couldn't do the thing. You know, and then I got single again. And so we reconnected on OkCupid again. And he asked me out on a couple of dates. And I went on those dates. And we really, really got along and really, really liked each other. But he sort of was having a lot of issues with his main partner, with communication. And I know they had issues with communication because every time I would be hanging out with him, even yesterday, I'd look at his phone and I'd look at his notifications and see the amount of people, the amount of times his ex was contacting him. Like his ex was like hitting him up non-fucking stop. Like there are times where he'd be at the club and he's got 70 missed calls. Like it was not missed calls, missed texts. It was pretty fucking intense, right? And so, basically he landed on, look, I really fucking like you. I think you're really fucking cool. But I need to figure out what's going on in my relationship right now. I need to maybe not see people right now and sort of focus on what's going on in my relationship. And now, to be honest with you guys, I was really fucking bummed. I really liked this guy. We really got along really well. But unlike some of the other guys that I've gone out with since I've been single, when he made this decision, when he had this communication with me, we had not had sex, you know? And so it wasn't like I felt like I lost something. We basically landed on, hey, let's be friends. And you know, while and if I sort out my relationship, maybe we'll see about dating, right? So we just had like a really nice little friend date yesterday. And we watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I've been really dying to watch because of the new Cloverfield movie that's out. And it was just really nice, you know? And one thing I will say that I am sort of trying to remind myself of is that I still, even though I said that I do this already, put way more energy into my romantic relationships than I do my friendships, right? I spend way more time dating, way more time socializing in that context than I do developing healthy friendships with people. And even when it came to the guy that dumped me this week, you know, we ended very much on the we should be friends tip, you know. And I told him, you know, it's going to take me some time because look, I'm kind of upset, but at the same time, I really wasn't because you know, he was insecure about my body, and that's not really something I should deal with, right? And so, talking to Zombie and Soldier, and even Sebastian, they all sort of said similar things in terms of I need to maybe, you know, date people who are in, you know, who like take a class and then maybe I'll meet someone that way. You know, sort of do these things where you're surrounding yourself with people in like a common sort of interest and then see where that goes. Now let me line my eyes and I'll come right back. There's one. Oof, Jesus. Like lining my eyes is the most like upsetting thing in the world. You know what? Let's try to dry that first. So yeah, I shouldn't do that. So yeah, you know, and then hanging out with him yesterday and just watching a movie was really nice. You know, like we definitely had a long hug, and it was a scary movie, so I definitely did like the like grabbing onto his, you know, not grabbing him, but like, you know, leaning on him kind of thing. And so there's mutual attraction there. That still exists, but we're not dating, and that's understood, you know. And you know, I like that. And it's weird because I've had a lot of men say to me recently, we should be friends. We should be friends. And I've always fucking hated that because I'm so used to men saying to me, we should be friends, which is code for I don't really want to date you and I can't really see you as a serious person to date. But what I will do is keep you as a person that I can talk to and potentially fuck when the mood strikes. So for me, whenever I meet men whenever I have that conversation to men like, well, we should be friends, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fuck you. when you're afraid of committing to me. But to be honest with you guys, with the last 3 guys that I have cut relationships with, they're all good guys. We just didn't line up in the way that we should have lined up, you know? And I don't think there's anything really wrong with that per se. I mean, we definitely fell on a certain conclusion, and I think that's okay. And so I can still have good friendship relationships with all of these guys. It's gonna take me a minute with some of these people. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, but then also I thought about, well, so actually, let me line this before I go on that other point. What time is it? Ooh, it's almost 8. So I've been thinking like, so maybe I really should, instead of sort of really, because I don't feel like I pressure men into like a romantic thing. But one thing I do try to make a point of is like, hey, if you don't have the capacity for a potential romantic thing, like maybe we should just not, you know? Because I get so many, hey, let's be friends, hey, let's be friends kind of messages. And I'm just really not about waiting on the, waiting on the sidelines for, my turn kind of thing. I'm just really not about that. So going on the point of meeting people in your social circle, going on the point of trying to meet people with common interests. When I went to the last poly meetup, honestly, it was not as awkward. Me and the guy that dumped me, we had our sort of conversation. We were very sort of cordial. It was almost like nothing changed. We just weren't dating anymore, And so there was that. But there was this guy that I'm always seeing at these events. And like, I'm 5'10" and I wear combat boots almost every day. And so I'm pretty fucking tall. And so usually when I go into, these spaces with, normal people, they tend to be a lot fucking shorter than me. Right? They tend to be a lot fucking shorter than me. And so this guy, I always me, like he's like freakishly fucking tall. And listen, you can call me problematic every single fucking day of my life for liking men who are taller than me. I'm not gonna give much of a fuck, but if it makes you feel good, girl, you can go and do what you need to do. But for me, even though I've dated men who are much shorter than me, fuck, I dated a guy who was 4'5". Even though I've dated men who are much, 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 much shorter than me, there's a very animalistic thing about when a man is taller than me that I can't pretend I don't feel. I can't pretend I don't feel. It's almost like when I see like a nice, like bearded, thick guy, like who's like thick and bearded and has like arms that are larger than mine. Like I can't help but like on a very sort of like almost biological level have a response to that, And times when I've talked about that openly before, I've had a lot of people be like, oh, Kat, you're being super offensive to short people. Oh, Kat, you shouldn't really talk about your interest, your attraction to masculine men because that's, really oppressive to people who aren't masculine. But to be honest with you guys, get the fuck off my genitalia area. Because like, I like what I like, and I'm sorry that we wouldn't date, but like, don't take that personally. It's not personal. And I will, as a side note, I will say this. One of the things I've been enjoying about these vlogs is I'm not censoring myself. I think I spent a really long time online being around people who are like really eager to censor certain conversations. And I'm really returning to like my roots of YouTube, which were very much, I'm going to come on here and say whatever the fuck I want to say and however the fuck I want to say it. And bitch, I might very well be wrong. I might very well be wrong. And you know what? If I am, feel free to drag me. But I'm not going to pretend I don't feel a certain way because the people on the internet don't like it. You know, that's just not how I am even vaguely interested in functioning, especially when I'm talking about my fucking life. Now, of course, I'm sharing my life with people. There are people who are always going to have an opinion about that, and I am totally and completely okay with that. However, just accept that I've got my position and perspective, and that's mine, and I'm not going to act like I don't because it makes you feel better. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So anyway, he asked me out on a date. And one of the things that I'm definitely, oh, there it is. One of the things that I'm definitely, oh, and I grabbed the wrong fucking thing. One of the things that I am definitely navigating around right now is how do I tell guys that I'm trans? Because, you know, being the poly community is really weird because you really do feel when you enter into spaces that are very poly and very, you know, LGBTQIA inclusive, you really think that like, yeah, everyone's fucking cool with everything, you know. There's no reason to necessarily go out there and say all that because, well, you know, people are just kind of open-minded and da 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 da. And I say that to myself, but also I say afterwards, Kat, that's not realistic. You know, you've dated in this circle a little while. You know, you should know by now after those two experiences you just had with guys that a lot of people aren't, you know, maybe poly but aren't into that. And you know, and as someone who has very much a I don't want to date people who don't like trans people kind of position. I'm kind of operating it from the perspective of like, I really do need to get to it from I need to get to it from the well, I'm fucking up what I'm saying. Basically, I'm saying even though I have that perspective, it's still very hard for me to just say that I'm trans. I have like this very sort of built-in thing for me that I think is kind of a leftover sort of thing from when I was stealth, where it's very hard for me to just say that I'm trans. And it's not like a shame thing necessarily. To me, telling people I'm trans, it feels like acknowledging, you know, that when I was 10 years old, I had a limp. It's like, to me, very irrelevant. But objectively, I understand that it's something that's going to be important to people. So this guy asked me out on a date. I know that he knows the guy that I used to date, and I don't know if they've talked about it. I don't know. Um, but I have said to myself, I'm getting ready for this date, which I'm actually not doing too bad on time, honestly. Because we said 8:30, so I might still be able to make it for 8:30. I did say to myself, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but at some point on this date, we're going to talk about how I am trans, just in case he does not know. Because I don't know if he doesn't know. I've been on a lot of dates with men where, you know, they know that I'm trans, but we never talk about it. It never comes up. And so I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know. We're just meeting for a drink. So I really, truly don't know how this is going to go and where it's going to go. But I have learned through previous experiences that it's something that's important for me to talk about. So I'm meeting this guy in a nice public place, and we will fucking see. We will fucking see. I mean, part of it for me, honestly, is these are people who I'm going to see every month and probably more than once a month in the LA scenes I'm part of. It's gonna fucking happen. It's gonna fucking happen. And so I feel I should handle it delicately, you know. Like my thing is I'm definitely not ashamed of being transgender. It's also just it's a hard thing to me to just casually bring up because it's just so irrelevant to literally every conversation I had. It feels so much like I would be forcing the topic where it didn't belong, I guess you could say, you know? And so I don't know how this is going to go. I'm a little nervous about it. But this isn't like online dating where I say on all my fucking profiles right there that I'm transgender. This is a guy that met me at an event who thought I was cute and wanted to get drinks with me Monday. And to be honest with you guys, I'm fucking stressed. I'm stressed out in my taxes today. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm becoming a Republican. Um, and so, you know, I'm looking forward to it. And to be completely honest with you guys, he also definitely seems like, and I might be totally wrong about this, he also definitely seems like he is a very chill person who probably doesn't give a fuck. But we'll see. I've been wrong about that before. And who knows, maybe we'll land on the position that we landed on before, of like, hey, maybe we should just be friends. And that will be okay with me too. That being said, see, I'm such a mess. I should really stop. I'm such a fucking mess. So tomorrow, so tomorrow I have a date with another guy. Um, and this is a guy that I've actually been talking to all day. Like we've been on the phone all day today. Um, and he is pansexual. We had so many conversations about all the shit that I've been going through with dating and stuff. Um, and he's just really fucking cool. I love the fact that he's pansexual. We actually, so here, a funny story. So there's a guy that I matched with on Tinder, who kept telling me that he liked trans women but couldn't see them as like serious partners, right? And so I matched with this other guy on Tinder, this guy that I'm seeing tomorrow, not on Tinder, on OkCupid, and I just swore it was the same guy. And so the first message I sent him was like, we just had like an argument on Tinder about this. I'm not interested. Oh no, here's what happened. That guy who didn't see trans women as serious partners, he unmatched me, right? He unmatched me. And so without like ever having like a good conversation about it, he just fucking unmatched me. And so I was pretty fucking annoyed with that because let's just finish the conversation and conclude it. Do you know what I mean? Let me line my lips real quick. So anyway, so we had a lot of conversations today, about everything. Like we talked for 3 hours today. We talked for 3 hours today. And like we had really good conversations. I'm starting a keto diet and he's done keto before, so we had a lot to talk about with that. Like it was just really good. And so I'm really fucking looking forward to it. He's so cute. Only slight issue with him is he's not someone who identifies as poly, you know? But he's like, well, you know, I might be very open to it. And girl, I already know. I know. As poly people say, date within your species. But, you know, he's cute. He's very cute. He's a little teddy bear. He's very cuddly looking. Little chub on him. Ah, fuck, bitch. Look how quickly I can do my makeup when I set my mind to it. So I'm gonna change. What am I wearing though? So yeah, I'm pretty excited about him. I think that we will end up being, you know, pretty good. I mean, look, if we are already having 3-hour conversations on the phone, I think that bodes pretty well for what sort of dynamic could come from, you know, that. But right now, I am on my way to another date. I think I'm gonna wear this. I've worn this though to the event that I met him at though. I don't know if I should do that. I wore that for Valentine's Day. And he's been at most of the, like pretty much every event I've been to. So he would probably remember every dress I've worn. I'm sure he was checking it out or whatever. Okay, we'll just wear this generic dress I always wear that's like kind of sexy but a little conservative. A little conservative sexy. You know, it's conservative sexy. You know what I mean? It's a little conservative, like sort of similar. So this is a dress I've worn a lot. It's a little too matchy with my hair though. But whatever. All right, where's my fucking all right, so I'm gonna move you guys up here so you don't fucking see what the fuck I look like when I'm naked, because you fucking perverts give a fuck, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, so we'll see how this goes. If you guys watched my last broadcast, I was getting ready to go on a date with another guy. And if you're curious how that date went, so basically that date was like okay. I like when people ask me how that date's gone, I said it was okay. It was just okay. And so now tell me if this makes me sound like a prissy bitch. Tell me if this makes me sound like a so I guess it's because I haven't, I mean, I've been dating a lot, but I guess I'm still relatively new back in on the scene or whatever. And so this guy, he took me to this this restaurant in Koreatown. And out of all the fucking places in Koreatown, he takes me to this Colombian restaurant, which if you know Koreatown, you can already imagine like what kind of food is just splattered throughout Koreatown, Korean food. And now I will say that like with one of the guys that I'm seeing, we do get Korean barbecue like basically every single time we see each other. But you know, he took me to this Colombian place, so I was pretty whatever about that. But this was clearly a place that was more properly suited for like lunch and breakfast. Definitely not a great dinner place. So when he took me to this restaurant, there was a bar that was right there, and this bar was just so fucking boisterous. Now I love a good like lively bar type situation. Like I really do. I do love I love a good I do love a good bar. Like fuck, I'm a fucking alcoholic. So I love a bar. Um, but the thing is, like, I on like a date don't want to be screaming over a bar. You know, like the bar I'm going to right now, it's really chill, it's really quiet. There's like a theme to it, and it's clearly not a place you go to have a rager. It's more of a place where you go to get a quiet drink after work, right? And so, we're definitely having, you know, a chill time. So like, but like when I got there to the place, like I was so I was just so aggravated by the bar. Like I was so aggravated. You guys know me. It's really hard for me to pretend I'm having a good time. It's really hard for me to pretend that I'm happy. It's really, really, really hard for me to pretend everything's okay, nothing's wrong, and da 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 da. And so I was just reacting to like every little bit um, of loud noise and bullshit. Like we walked in and there were no tables to sit at. And when a table did open up, it was a table like right next to the bar, directly right next to the bar. Um, and so, that was pretty fucking annoying. Because clearly this is our first time meeting. I wanted to have a conversation with him. I wanted to talk to him about what he's going through, what his life is like, what the dick look like, what is he into? You know what I mean? Like I wanted to have like a good, normal conversation with him. And it was really hard to do that when I was in a room full of loud, boisterous people. Um, and so I was visibly upset and visibly angry. Then when I looked at the food, I mean, not visibly angry, I wasn't angry, but I was like annoyed. And so then when I look at the food is mostly trash. It's mostly trash. I mean, there was nothing really of sustenance. It was a lot of like bar food, like I mean, nice elevated bar food. Like there was like a nice like oxtail type plate situation, but it was bar food. You know what I mean? It wasn't really anything good. Um, and so that kind of aggravated me. I didn't know what I wanted. I also told him that like I, don't really get I like so I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to food, but I'm almost never in the mood for Mexican food. Not that I don't like Mexican food. I can eat Mexican food, probably every day and not really be that mad about it. But I'm like never like when I'm sitting alone in my room, I'm never like craving Mexican food. I'm usually craving Asian food. That's just kind of how I'm set up. I'll be right back. And now, obviously, Colombian food is its own special, like snowflake. It's perfect, different, it's unique, whatever. Not gonna try and say it's the same as Mexican food, but like the flavors are damn near the same. The flavor profiles are damn near the same. Um, and so for me, I was just like, I don't really crave any of this. And so I did the whitest thing ever. And I'm like, let me order a fucking burger. And so I order like the sliders at this restaurant. And I get them and I immediately realize that like, oh my God, this is the worst thing to order. My trainer has told me, avoid gluten. And here I have a plate full of bread. It was like a plate full of just everything my trainer has told me not to eat. And so I was kind of like, well, fuck, I guess I can just eat the patties in the burger, which I know telling the story, it makes me sound like I'm such a picky eater. And I'm not. I'm just trying to be a little bit more health conscious. And I wasn't really thinking about that when I was ordering because I was literally just like, well, let me get the thing I know I can eat, you know. And so I order my platter. And I mean, not order, I eat my patties rather. Um, and I'm just kind of sitting there, not really too happy about this food situation. And I feel really bad because it's really hard for me to hide when I'm upset or like when I'm frustrated. And he was like, no, 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 it's okay. Like, I would rather you show me how you feel than, you know, not quite tell me how you feel and then have it just be an issue later. I'd rather know now that you're upset than have you like hold it against me later. And so I was like, okay. And so we did end up going, we left that restaurant. We ended up going across the street to a Korean place where I got a bento box and I got my bulgogi beef. And I ate my little bulgogi beef and I was pretty happy about it. And I felt pretty full and we went to a bar and we had more conversations and it ended pretty okay. But I think that we need to go on another date to sort of see where it is. Now he told me that like I was his first date, like he has a partner that he lives with, and I was his first like OkCupid date. And so, you know, I basically set the standard, I guess, for every other girl he goes out with from this point forward. But whatever, you know, we'll see. I would be interested in seeing him again. I think we just sort of had planning issues, and that's not the worst thing in the world. We'll see where we go from here. Um, so let me see. This is kind of hate. Like I said, this like dress is a little too matchy matchy. But whatever. You know, it's like it's 8:11. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So yeah, this is just a very standard dress. You know, just a little something something. Just a little booty in the back or whatever. Could make it super casual with my jean jacket, which I'm sure probably smells like funk, so I'm not gonna wear it. No, it's not that bad. Whatever. Where is my spray? I just saw it. It was just right here. Oh, whatever. So I'll see how this date goes, y'all. I'm a little nervous because I don't know how to bring up that I'm trans. I mean, I could bring it up in a conversation about where are my partners and what my situation is currently because it's pretty relevant. I'm hoping that conversation doesn't come up so soon. I don't know, y'all. I mean, at the end of the day, if I tell him that I'm trans and he's like, oh, wow, I'm really not into that. I mean, whatever. At least now we know. But I don't know. I'm very used to like these guys at this fucking poly meetup always hitting on me and fawning over me and shit. And like, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just like very sensitive to like, I don't like gossip, you know? Like, I don't want people to be talking shit. But who knows? That's kind of, I mean, even in this space, like, I've met so many people who are like there's like a pickup artist who goes to this event all the time. And I don't know if he's reformed or what, but like he's a pickup artist and totally looks like one, totally looks like a pickup artist. Like he's got like an open fucking shirt, chest tattoos and all that shit. And I've heard several people talk shit about him. And you know, it's weird. I haven't talked to him, but he doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. And when I see other people around him, it kind of seems like, well, maybe that's not the correct reading of him. I don't know. Maybe he's an asshole. I mean, I've heard that he definitely negged the guy I used to see, his partner. So like, who knows? Like maybe that's the case. But I've always been kind of person where I'm like, let me sort of learn who you are without being informed from other people about who you are. Like let me be the person who figures it out, you know, figures out who you are. I don't want to just take someone's word for it. I mean, I will approach with caution, but I don't want to just sort of assume, you know what I mean? So anyway, how do I, thank you. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I like this new sort of situation here. Oh, I feel really bad because I can't really do anything. And you know what though? I wonder if I don't even have super chat because I mean, I don't know. My profile did today say that I'm enabled for monetization, but like, I don't know if I actually am. I don't know. Have I decided on what color I'm going to dye my hair? Well, dye my hair. I don't know, honestly. This is like my color. Like, ever since I discovered this color, I'm like, bitch, this is my color. Like, I don't even know why I wore any other color. But I've always been curious about having blonde hair, and I've always been curious about having white hair. Now, whatever hair color I have, it's gonna have to last me through VidCon. Okay, let me tell him I'm gonna call my Uber now. And so for me, sometimes I'm like, so what do I want? Do I want to try a completely new color and then have that through VidCon? Because actually last year, my plan was to do, I was going to have like lime green hair last year for VidCon, but I just decided not to. No, what happened? How was my hair like last year? I think my hair was just, I think I had a wig on last year. I don't remember how my last year VidCon look was like. But bitch, listen, I'm single as shit. Okay? I'm single as shit. Okay? And I'm gonna get on this keto diet, bitch. Okay? And so I'm gonna be so fucking snatched. I'm gonna be so fucking snatched. All right? And I'm gonna be looking for my husband. I'm not gonna be messy like that, but I will say that there was a guy who works at a very large company connected to Google who runs the VR department, and like me and him had a little thing. And bitch, I'm looking for my Silicon Valley husband. Okay, I'm looking for my Silicon Valley husband. So I'm not saying that I don't look cute now because I do, but what I'm saying is I will be a little bit more snatched for VidCon. And so, you know, yeah. I have thought about going a brighter red. I just love this color on me. I really feel like this is my color. I was thinking about a cobalt blue or like a steel blue though. I was thinking about that, but I don't know, y'all. I feel like colorful hair is so not my brand anymore. I don't know. I just really like this color of hair. I feel like it just goes with me with everything, like every sort of vibe I'm sort of trying to give. So like, you know, I don't know. But I've always wanted white hair and I've always wanted blonde. I've always wanted to try blonde. So I'm kind of thinking of maybe doing a how long is it gonna take me to get here? Oh, 30 fucking minutes. How great. I'm kind of thinking of doing mostly blonde with white in it, like almost like a platinum and ashy blonde. Because you guys know how I do my hair. I like to have like a bunch of different colors. Like this hair has got, you know, the black mixed in with the 35O. It's got the amber in there a little bit. There is a lot of 35 in there. There's a lot of tomato red in there. I like to give like different colors. And so I'm kind of thinking like, let me do like a blonde that has like white, like almost highlights in it and sort of get like a nice in between. So like when I take pictures, it'll look like it could be either blonde or white, you know? I don't know though. Like when I first planned out this hair color, I was like, oh my God, this is not gonna look as good on me. But I feel like this is my color. And this hair actually does have a lot more amber in it than last time. I did that specifically because last time I did my hair, it was just like the darker colors you guys see and a little bit of red. But I put a ton of amber in there and I love the way it looks. I love just where you can see like really specific pieces of the hair where you've got like a light color like this. It's just falling against all these different colors. I love that. I love that. I definitely think that mixing colors looks way more fucking natural and interesting. So I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. I feel like I want to like do like a Photoshop experiment to like see what my hair would look like, because I'm really inclined just to go and repurchase this hair and just call it a fucking day. But you know what? Everyone's told me that my hair looks really good. Like I've had black people tell me that my hair looks good. Black people. So because white people be like, your hair looks great, and I'm like, bitch, this is 4 months. This is 4 months. And I did this hair New Year's. This is why I did this hair New Year's. And so I've had black people be like, your hair looks great. I'm like, really, bitch? Really? I thought it looked a little busted or whatever. I thought it looked a little busted. But they're like, it looks great. Like even my family, they're like, oh, your hair looks great. I'm like, whoa, it does. Okay. Because like I look at my hair, I'm like, look how long, look at my fucking roots, y'all. Look at that. Like my hair is like, look at that. Like I've got like a good couple inches of new growth there. And so I actually love the way my hair is falling right now. And I know I could probably keep this in for 2 more fucking months, bitch. But like, I really do need, here's another thing too. I really do need a good moment of like humility and like just hermitity. I need to like lock myself in my room for a week and do my hair and not go out on a date. I really need to do that. I haven't done it in a really long time. Bitch, I've been going on so many dates. I've had so many heartbreaks. I've had so many upsets. I need to have like a reason to like never, like to not leave my room. I need to have a reason to stay the fuck inside. Okay? Stay the fuck inside. All right? And just, oh girl, we're gonna get rid of that. It's not that bad. I've been working out. Am I still rocking black lipstick like every other day? It's funny. So I have a really private Instagram now. And so I post like more of like the photos of like what I look like every day on my private Instagram. So you guys don't even see like the looks I be pulling. So like this was my hoe fit for the goth club. Like, bitch, just giving them a little something or whatever. Just a little something. Let me stop. Just like a good, nice, hoe fit-tude, And having a private Facebook honestly has made my life so much fucking happier and more content, because bitch, I can post where the fuck I want and I don't have to worry about like what y'all fucking think about it. I really don't give 2 fucks. All right. My Uber is here. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Matane. Bye-bye.